All right, welcome to today's English live lesson with me, with Shailly. Thank you all for joining. I'm sure we'll have more people joining soon. For everyone who's joining me right now, welcome. For those who are watching during the replay, welcome as well. I hope you enjoy the lesson today. We have a really fun lesson today. Today's lesson is kind of intermediate to advanced English. This we're going to study a phrase that will help you sound more fluent. It will help you sound more like a native English speaker. All right, so the one phrase, I'm just going to jump right in it today. And when more people join, I will go over what we are studying again. So bear with me with that. Today, what we are going to be studying today, if you look at the bottom of the screen, we are going to be studying in case. In case. This is a great phrase. We use this a lot in English. And that's what we're going to study today. We're going to study how to use in case in sentences. We're also going to go over one of the confusing points. A lot of people will confuse in case and if. So we will go over the differences in that as well. And as with all of my lessons, we're always going to end the lesson with you making sentences, you speaking using in case. So my advice for everyone is please be active in the comment section and also be active at home. Be speaking your answers, at home. Remember, I have super hearing. I can hear you. So speak your answers from home. XYZ Family Fun, hello. Thank you again for joining. It's great to see you here again. Anybody else, if you want to, put a shout out, tell me where you're from, or just say hello, please do that in the comment section. I'm glad everyone has come with me. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. It is 12 o'clock here in Japan, so it's noon. It is lunchtime here. Hopefully it's a good time where everybody is watching. YFS, hello. Thank you for joining. Thanks for the comments on YouTube as well. I'm glad you can join me today. Today, we are going to study using in case. So let's jump. Hopefully, we don't have any technical problems today. I did check everything, and it looks like we are good to go. We shouldn't have any technical problems. So let's jump right in it. We're going to be studying in case. And I'm going to share my screen with you so everybody can see today's lesson. And today, this is what we will be using. Now, first, before we can use in case, it's really important that we understand what it means. What does in case mean? I need to understand this before I can use this. So if we just look at the lesson on the screen here, the very first sentence, and I'll bold it in blue here, it says, we use in case to avoid a possible problem later on. We don't have the problem right now, but there is the possibility. There is a potential problem. So I want to prepare for that problem. Right? So again, one more time, I don't have the problem now. The problem may happen in the future. So I'm going to be preparing for that problem. Okay, and the second line, it says, in case usually means that you don't expect something to happen, but if it does happen, you're prepared. We usually use in case for future sentences, but it's also possible to use it in the past. So if you talk about how you prepared for something, then we can make a past sentence also. Today, we will be using it to talk about future events. So let's look at an example sentence. The first example sentence here, I have it highlighted in blue. It says, take some water with you in case you get thirsty. All right, so one more time. And back home, please shadow along with me. Speak the sentence as I'm speaking. This will help your speaking speed. Okay, so I'm going to read it again, and I want you to read and speak along with me. Remember, I can hear everything. So the sentence says, take some water with you in case you get thirsty. So we have two parts of this sentence. So we've got, of course, the word, the phrase that we are studying today is in case. Now we've got a sentence before and we've got a sentence after. So one is the solution. One is the possible problem, potential problem. In this situation, thirsty. Thirsty. Does everybody know what thirsty means? If you know what thirsty means, just give me a thumbs up in the comment section if you can use your emojis, or just type yes, you know what it means. If you don't know what it means, please give me a thumbs down or no, and I will go over what that means. Is everybody comfortable with the word thirsty? And again, I'm always going to give you time to comment. I know a lot of people are using their smartphones, so it takes time to type. So XYZ answers, you want to drink something. That is correct. That's perfect. So thirsty means you want to drink something. So maybe it's a hot day, right? And maybe you're speaking a lot. So you want to drink something. That's thirsty. So in this sentence, thirsty is the problem. It's the possible problem. Maybe this will happen. Maybe I will become thirsty. So, how do I prepare? How do I prepare for this problem? What is my solution? My solution is take some water. So I'm preparing for the possibility, maybe I will get thirsty in the future. So I'll bring water. I'll take water with me. So with every in case sentence, we have the problem, possible problem, and we have the solution, the thing I will prepare. So we look at the second sentence. The second sentence, I'm going to put in case at the very beginning. At the very beginning. In case, oh, you know what? I made a mistake here too. This the shouldn't be here. So let's just cross that out. In case you need me, I'll be at Tom's. In case you need me, I'll be at Tom's. So the problem is you need me. Maybe you have to ask me a question. So you need me. So what's the solution? I'm telling you, I'll be at Tom's. So you can call me at Tom's. All right, let's look at our third example. Our third example, I'll bring an extra jacket in case I get cold. In case I get cold. So in this situation, what is the problem? What is the potential or possible problem? Is it bring an extra jacket, or is it get cold? Who can tell me what that possible problem will be? I'll give time for everybody to think and then type your answer in the comment section. All right, XYZ answered get cold. Perfect. Yes, get cold is the problem. So, what's my solution? I will bring an extra jacket. Right? So, bring an extra jacket is my solution. Get cold is the problem. So, if you notice, whenever I'm using in case, after in case is when I introduce the problem. Okay, so one more time. After in case is when I introduce the problem. So in case, and then we've got our problem. All right, so always put the problem after in case. So I'll bring an extra jacket in case I get cold. So maybe I will get cold. How will I prepare? I'll bring an extra jacket. Now, I mentioned at the very beginning that a lot of people are going to confuse in case and if. In case and if. I have a great example here. If you look at the screen, I've got two sentences. The first sentence says, I'll bring in the washing if it rains. I'll bring in the washing if it rains. Now, here, another word for a washing is the laundry. You will bring in the laundry, you'll bring in the washing if it rains. So maybe you washed your clothes, you did laundry, and you put it outside and it's hanging. This sentence says, I'll bring in the washing if it rains. The second sentence, I'll bring in the washing in case it rains. Washing in case it rains. What is the difference between these two sentences? They have a different meaning. What is the difference? Who can understand the difference between these two sentences? I'll bring in the washing if it rains, or I'll bring in the washing in case it rains. This is a very confusing sort of, comprehension of the grammar. So if and in case, a lot of people will confuse these because both sentences are correct. Both sentences are correct, but the meaning is very different. And I'm starting today's lesson off with a tough question. So I hope you guys are okay starting off tough. It will get easier and a lot more fun. So don't bear with me. But this is very important to understand this difference. So I'll bring in the washing if it rains. I'll bring in the washing in case it rains. And I'll give everybody another 10, 15 seconds to tell me the difference between these two. So again, I'll bring in the washing if it rains. Correct sentence. It's very good. I'll bring in the washing in case it rains. Also a good sentence. But what is the difference? It has a very, very big difference. Okay, And I'll give you another hint. I'll give you another hint here. I'm going to put a banner on the screen here. All right, I'm going to change the position of where I am. And let's look at this next banner here. It says proactive versus reactive. Proactive versus reactive. So if it's proactive, I use in case. If it's reactive, I'll use if. So these two words are also quite difficult. That's tough, advanced vocabulary. So in this situation, proactive means I am doing something, I am preparing, I'm doing something before the problem comes. I don't want the problem to come, so I'm doing something before it comes. That way there's no problem. But reactive means I'm reacting. That means the problem comes. The problem comes and then I react. Okay, so one more time. Proactive means you're acting first before the problem. And reactive is you act after the problem comes. So XYZ, you answered here. In case equals you don't if it is going to rain or not. Maybe you don't know. You don't know if it's going to rain or not. If you know it's going to rain. Yeah, so correct, XYZ. You're almost there. You're almost perfect. So let's look at the second example. I'll bring in the washing in case it rains. So I've hung out my laundry. My laundry is on my terrace and everything's fine. But I check my smartphone, I check my phone's weather app, and it says, oh, there is a possibility of rain, 60% chance of rain this afternoon. I look outside into the sky and it's gray and I can see some dark clouds coming. All right, so that's a possible problem. It's not raining right now, but it might rain. There's a possibility. So I'm preparing. I don't want my laundry to become wet. I don't want it to become soaked with rain. So I bring in the laundry. I'm preparing. Now, the other example, if we're talking about if, and I'll highlight that in blue, I'll bring in the washing if it rains. This means I'm going to react to the problem. I've put my laundry on the terrace or on the roof. I've put it outside. It's hanging. It's drying. Then I just leave it. I don't care. But suddenly I notice, oh no, it's raining. It's raining. My clothes are getting wet. So I quickly go outside. I bring in the laundry. So I'm reacting to the problem. In cases, I'm preparing for a possible problem. So does that make sense? Proactive versus reactive. It is a little bit difficult. So just remember, if is you're doing something after the problem has come. And with in case, you don't want the problem to come. You don't want the problem to, be a reality. So you do something before. If we look at the previous examples that I showed you, take some water with you in case you get thirsty. I don't want to become thirsty. So I'm preparing. I've brought water. So I cannot be thirsty. So in case is always preparing. And XYZ, if means it's already raining. Yes. If means it rains, then you do something. And in case it's not raining. In case means it's not raining. But there is the chance it might rain. There's a possibility. So I prepare. So it might be a little bit difficult, but don't worry. We're going to do an exercise that we must choose in case or if. We'll do a small exercise between in case and if, and then I think you should be able to understand. So let's look at the first exercise today. We must choose in case or if. Number 1 says, you should bring your umbrella something it rains. You should bring your umbrella something it rains. Yes, XYZ, yeah. It's amazing once you figure it out. Like, oh, if means I'm reacting. It happens after. And then in cases, it doesn't happen yet. You're preparing. It's really interesting. Okay, so number 1, again, you should bring your umbrella something it rains. And YFS, in case it rains. XYZ, in case it rains. Perfect. So you're preparing for rain. It might rain, so you bring the umbrella. All right, number 2, something you get a headache, take an aspirin. Something you get a headache, take an aspirin. What will you choose, if or in case? Okay, and remember, I've got the on the screen here, you can see proactive is in case, reactive is if. So you prepare for the problem or you do something after the problem. This is a tricky one. Something you get a headache, take an aspirin. Now, grammatically, if you're thinking about grammar, both are correct. But if you talk about meaning, does it make sense? Only one makes sense. XYZ, if you are correct. If you get a headache, YFS, if correct. Excellent. If you get a headache, then you take aspirin. So you have to react. You can't prepare for a headache. We don't know when we'll get a headache. And you shouldn't take medicine preparing for something. That's not healthy. So with medicine, it's always reactive. We get the headache, then we take aspirin. All right, very good. Very good job. All right, now let's look next one. Number 3. Take the front door key, something we are not home when you return. Take the front door key, something we are not home when you return. So again, you're going to choose in case or if. In case or if. Take the front door key in case we are not home when you return, or take the front door key if we are not home when you return. All right, XYZ, in case. Perfect. That is the correct answer. YFS also quick to answer as well. In case. Yes. Take the front door key in case we are not home when you return. Maybe they'll be home. Maybe they will not be home. We don't know. It could be a problem. How do we prepare? We bring the keys. We bring the front door keys. All right, excellent. Very good. Let's look at number 4. I always turn off my cell phone in the movie theater. Something, it rings. Will you choose if, or will you choose in case? I always turn off my cell phone in the movie theater. Something, it rings. And if you know the answer, please leave it in the comment section or speak it out loud. And remember, don't be shy. It's okay if you make a mistake. Making a mistake is how we learn. So try to answer. Don't worry if you make a mistake. I always turn off my cell phone in the movie theater. Something, it rings. All right, so we've got here XYZ's in case, YFS is if. So we've got 2 different answers here. Here, the problem is my phone might ring. Maybe someone will call me. And if you're in the movie theater, that's a big problem. So you want to prepare for that. So you turn off the cell phone. So in this situation, I would choose in case. In case. So you're preparing for the phone ringing. So you turn off your phone. Then the phone cannot ring. Does that make sense, YFS? Okay, hopefully that makes sense. We got one more to practice. And let's look at that now. Number 5. You should tell the police something. Your bicycle is stolen. You should tell the police something. Your bicycle is stolen. Always confuse me. YFS. Yeah, always. It means I'm always doing it. It's my routine. I routinely prepare for my phone ringing in the movie theater. So how about number 5, YFS? You should tell the police something. Your bicycle is stolen. All right, YFS. If XYZ, if that is correct. You cannot tell the police if your bicycle is not stolen. You can't prepare for that. You can't think, oh, my bicycle might be stolen today. I should tell the police first. No, that's not how life works. Unfortunately, the bike must become stolen first. Then we react and we tell the police. So if is the correct answer. Okay, so today's lesson, though, we want to focus more on in case, preparing for a problem, being proactive. So that is what we're focusing on today, where we're going to prepare for the potential problem. The problem may happen. So we are going to be looking at in case. So in the next section, I am going to give you some situations, some scenarios. So let's look here. I've done number 1 for you. I've already done it. Number 1, the situation, the scenario is you're jogging. You're going to go jogging. And What is the problem? What is the possible problem? The possible problem is you might become thirsty. What's my solution? Water. Water is the solution for being thirsty. So the sentence I make is, I will bring some water in case I become thirsty. I'll bring some water in case I become thirsty. Now, don't forget, you need to put a verb. You need to put a verb in your sentence. Water is only a noun, so it needs a verb. I will bring some water in case I become thirsty. So from number 2, if we look at number 2, the theme, the scenario, the situation is hiking. I want you to imagine you are going to go hiking. The problem is become hungry. You know, when I go hiking, I often become hungry. So how do I prepare for that problem? I prepare a sandwich. So let's use that information, put them together, and let's make a sentence. And remember, in case, after in case is when you introduce the problem. Okay, so in case plus the problem. And I think it's the easiest is it just put in case in the middle. Put in case in the middle. After in case, introduce your problem. Before in case, introduce your solution. So remember, the situation is you're hiking. The potential problem, the possible problem is you become hungry. What's the solution? Sandwich. And there can be many verbs for using sandwich here. So let's hear what your sentence is. If you don't like typing at home, that's okay. Just speak out loud. In the future, I'm hoping to actually have a bunch of you live with me. So we can have a live lesson together where we can actually talk to each other. So look out for that in the future. So XYZ's answer here is, I'll bring a sandwich in case I become hungry. Perfect. YFS, I'll bring some sandwiches in case I become hungry. Perfect. Both answers are perfect. We can use different verbs. It doesn't have to be only bring. I'll buy some sandwiches in case I get hungry. That means maybe before I go hiking, I'll buy them. I'll make some sandwiches in case I become hungry. Right? So there's many different verbs you can do. So if you had a different answer, that's okay. Leave your answer in the comment section either now or during the replay. And if you are watching this during the replay, you can leave all of your answers in the comment section because I do always check them and I will let you know if your answers are right. And also, if any of you are watching right now or if you're watching on the replay, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends as well. It's completely free. So subscribe to the channel. It will really help out my channel. So XYZ has a question. Do I need before in case? Do I need before in case? What do you mean by that? Do I need before in case? So let's look at your question. I'll bring a sandwich in case I become hungry. So what do you mean by before? Is it before or become? Oh, do you need, oh, sorry, there you go, a comma. I'm so sorry. Sorry, XYZ. Do I need a comma? If you begin the sentence with in case, then you need a comma. But if you are not, if in case is in the middle, you do not need a comma. So in case is at the beginning. So in case I become hungry, comma, I'll bring a sandwich. But if it's in the middle, you do not need a comma. Great question. Sorry for the confusion, XYZ. Okay, let's try the second one. Let's try the third one here. We are staying with our hiking theme. We're staying with our hiking theme. But if you look, number 3 is a little bit different. Number 1 and number 2, I gave you the problem and I gave you a solution. But number 3, I'm only giving you the problem. There is no solution here. It doesn't let me do a question mark, but there's no solution. Please think of your own solution. All right, so you're worried about the weather. You're worried about the weather. Now that can mean many things. So what is your sentence for this? How do you prepare for being worried about the weather? What type of weather are you worried about? Is it, I'm not going to give you more hints. Yes, YF has no comma, no comma. If it's at the beginning, you can put a comma, but if it's in the middle, you do not need a comma. All right, so number 3, hiking. Worried about the weather. And what is your solution for this? And as we go through these sentences now, this is sort of the main part of this lesson. At the very end, I'm not going to give you the problem. I'm not going to give you the solution. You have to think of both. So we're slowly working to that point. Right now, you have the problem. Think of your solution. How will you prepare for this possible problem? And I'll give everybody a little bit of time to write out their answers. XYZ answers, I'll bring raincoat in case it rains. Almost perfect here. XYZ, I'll bring a raincoat. I'll bring a raincoat in case it rains. Don't forget, we need to put the article a. I'll bring a raincoat in case it rains. Good. And YFS, I'll bring an umbrella in case it rains. That is perfect, YFS. I'll bring an umbrella in case it rains. Yeah, so that both of you are worried about rain. One person is preparing a raincoat, another person is preparing an umbrella. Now, there can be many weather issues. Maybe maybe I'm worried about the temperature. Maybe I'm worried about the temperature. So that sentence will change then. I'll pack a sweater in case it is cold. I'll pack a sweater in case it is cold. All right, so here I'm worried more about the temperature, not about whether it's going to rain or snow. Maybe it's going to be really foggy Maybe it's going to be foggy. How do you prepare for the fog? Right? So there can be many different weather issues. What if it's going to be super, super duper humid? All right, what do you do? How do you prepare for that? How do you prepare for heat if you're hiking? So there can be a lot of different possibilities with weather, but both XYZ and YFS, perfect answers. Let's look at number 4. Number 4 says your child is going to ride his or her bicycle. Your child is going to ride his or her bicycle. Now, the problem, what's the problem? Of course, with any parent, the biggest problem they always fear is their child's safety. Their child's safety. And of course, when children ride a bicycle, safety is an issue. We have to prepare for that. So, how do we prepare for that? What's the solution for this situation? All right, please leave your answer in the comment section. If you're watching on replay, please leave it in the comment section as well, and I will check. How do you prepare for your child's safety when they're riding a bicycle? What is your solution? Please make a sentence using in case. And as you can see on the screen, I've left that sort of banner there, in case plus the problem. So it's always useful. After in case is when you can introduce the problem. And before in case, if you're putting in case in the middle, before in case is the solution, your possible, your idea, your solution to prepare. I think this one here, I think most people can kind of understand, okay, yeah, bicycle, child, safety. I think most people probably have an idea of how to prepare for that. But now it's, how do I make a sentence? How do I make this sentence where I'm introducing the solution and introducing a problem? What verbs do I use? So while this situation is quite easy to understand, I think that sentence itself is a little bit difficult. So let's see what everyone can come up with. Don't be afraid if you make a mistake, if you choose the wrong verb, or if you miss a word. That's fine. That's why I'm here. I'm here to help. I'm here to help you to speak better and faster and faster. You'll be amazed after today, using in case in your conversation, you will sound more like a native English speaker. So this is a great, great phrase to remember. All right, I'm going to give a couple more seconds for everyone to answer this question. So again, just to recap, the situation is your child is going to ride his or her bicycle. And the problem, the potential problem, possible problem is you're worried about safety. What's the solution? All right, XYZ has an answer here. I will make him wear a helmet in case he falls. I love it. I love it, XYZ. This is a perfect, perfect answer. I love the verb you chose. I love the verb you chose. You chose, I will make him wear a helmet. Because I think most kids, they probably don't want to wear the helmet. It's up to the parents to force them to wear it. So that's perfect. I'll make him wear a helmet in case, what is the problem? In case he falls. Yes, it is inevitable. Every child will fall when they ride a bicycle. So it's important that we prepare for that. So you make him wear a helmet. YFS, I'll bring a helmet in case my child falls off from her bicycle. Falls. Don't forget the S on the fall here. Okay, so I will, one second here. There we go. Yes, don't forget the S there, YFS. And technically your answer is correct. I'll bring a helmet, but bringing is just, it's in my hand. So I've got the helmet, I've brought the helmet, but my child is still riding the bicycle with no helmet. So I think the, XYZ's answer, you're making them wear the helmet, is probably the better verb to use here. I'll make her wear a helmet. So I'll make my daughter wear a helmet in case she falls off from her bicycle. Yeah, there's so many things. You can make your child wear elbow pads or wrist pads in case they fall as well. All right. If you have any other answers, different answers, remember, leave it in the comment section. I will check all of them. But great job. Great answers here. Number 5, I think this is one that everybody can relate to. All right. The situation. Your computer is acting strangely. So your computer is, not behaving properly. It's a little bit strange. It's weird. And you're working on a very important document. So your computer is being all weird. It's acting strange. Maybe it's making some noises or it's flashing some things. And unfortunately, you're also working on an important document. Now, I'm going to put this a couple of stars here because I gave a heart instead of a star. That's because here you have to introduce the problem as well. Introduce the problem and the solution. YFS, you are very welcome. You're very welcome. So here we're getting a little bit more difficult because you have to introduce your own problem. What's the possible problem? And how do we prepare for that problem? What's your solution? So your computer is acting strangely and you're working on an important document. In fact, this is true for me. The computer I'm using right now is completely fine. It's a great computer. But I have one computer that's in my school that I love the computer. I bought that computer when I was living in LA. And it was actually my first ever Mac computer. I'd always used Mac computers, but I never bought one. And when I used to live in LA, I bought this Mac computer. It was my very first one. It was a laptop. And it's still working now, but it is acting very strangely. So there's something I do often with that computer. So YFS says, I'll take my computer to the store to fix in case it breaks. All right. I understand everything you said. There are a few grammatical mistakes here, YFS, but I understand everything you're saying. So let's put this on the screen here. And I'm just going to correct your sentence on the screen. So I'll take my computer to the store. Whenever anything is moving directions, whether it's take or go, if you're talking about another location, we need the preposition to. So you go to the store. You take something to the store. So I'll take my computer to the store to fix it. What are you fixing? You're fixing your computer. So I'll take my computer to the store to fix it in case it breaks. Now, this is a good answer. I like it. This is a little different than the headache example. With health, you get the headache, then you fix it. But with devices like machines, when something is not working smoothly, whether it's your computer, whether it's your car, oh, something is strange, something is not running smoothly. So you take it to the store. You take it to the store. You could change the verb, YFS. You could say, I'll take my computer to the store. Maybe I want to say to get it checked. To get it checked. In case it breaks. That's also a possibility. But I like your answer. XYZ, your answer, I'll save my document in case it freezes. I love it. Great. Yes, you have to save your document. That's something I always do with my computer at my school. It's always making funny noises. So yeah, I always save my document in case it freezes. Another verb, and I'm going to put your answer on the screen as well, XYZ. So I'll save my document in case it freezes. Now, I would change one thing here. I would change the it in case my computer freezes. If you use it sometimes means the document. So the document is not going to freeze. The computer is going to freeze. So I'll save my document in case my computer freezes. Now I have a different answer, and I want to share my answer with some of you, because maybe some of you who are watching on the replay will have the same answer as me. So what my answer is I'll back up my computer in case it crashes. So that's another option here. Let's just make this a little bit neater so everyone can see. I'll back up my computer in case it crashes. I'll back up my computer in case it crashes. So yeah, everybody, make sure you back up your computer. Computers are always funny at times, and you never know when your computer will crash. So make sure you back up. And crashes for a computer means that it just stops working. It completely shuts down. The screen is black. So that means your computer crashed. Okay, very good, very good. This was a little bit more difficult because we had to introduce the problem as well. So now let's look at number 6. Number 6 says, you're riding on a ship. You're riding on a ship. Maybe you're taking a cruise. Maybe you're taking a cruise. So what are some possible problems? And what are the solutions to those problems? Please make a sentence using in case. Give me the problem and give me the solution. Remember, you're riding on a ship. You're taking a cruise. Wife is not crushed, but crashed. Crashed. So it's going to be CRASHED. I'm going to put it way down here for you to see. My computer crashed. This is the past tense. It means my computer broke. My computer's screen went black. My computer stopped working. It crashed. Crash is usually used when two cars hit each other. It's a crash. But for computers, we also use this verb. It means it breaks. It breaks. Good question, YFS. Is it slang? I think it used to be slang, YFS. It used to be slang, but it's so common now. It's very, very common vocabulary. So it's no longer considered slang. Now, and that's the interesting thing. Slang, when we introduce a new word, maybe from hip hop culture or from, the younger generation, these words are all new. We call them slang. But when everybody starts using them and it becomes common, it becomes mainstream, then it moves from just being slang to just a regular word. And crashed now is just a regular word. I remember when I was growing up, the word awesome. Awesome was considered a slang word. But now it's just a regular word meaning great. Okay, so number 6, you're riding on a ship. You're taking a cruise. Has anyone ever taken a cruise? Has anyone ever taken a cruise? You are most welcome, YFS. Keep the questions coming. I love it. I love questions. So keep them coming. Has anyone ever taken a cruise? I've taken sort of like lunch cruises where it's just very short, but I've never taken an overnight cruise. I don't know how I would like an overnight cruise. I think it could be fun, but yeah, I don't know. I've never taken one. If you have, let me know how it is. Is it good? Is it bad? XYZ's answer for number 6, I'll take a medicine in case I get motion sickness. Great. Really good vocabulary here, XYZ. Now, one thing, I'm going to put your answer onto the screen here. And I'm just going to add one word, or actually, I'm going to remove one word from your answer. So I'll take a medicine. Now, medicine is uncountable. We cannot count medicine. So we can't say one medicine, 2 medicines, 3 medicines. It's uncountable. So because it's uncountable, we can't use the word a. We cannot use the word a. A means one. So we must remove the word a. I'll take medicine. And that's your solution. What's the problem? Motion sickness. Motion sickness is my problem. So I'll take medicine in case I get motion sickness. Excellent. Motion sickness is any type of nauseous feeling that you get because of movement. Maybe the ship is going up and down, and you start to feel bad. You're like, oh, you might throw up. So you take a pill. You want to stop that motion sickness. Now, motion sickness is the general word. We can be more specific for each type of motion. We have a special word. So in this situation, we're talking about a ship. The ship is on the sea. So we can say seasick or seasickness. If you're in a car, car sick. Airplane, air sick. And it's quite easy to remember, I think. YFS, I'll bring my camera in case I see a dolphins or a whale. I like it. That's not really a problem. The problem would be you don't have your camera, so you're preparing. You're preparing for the dolphins. You're preparing for a whale, so you bring your camera. That's a great answer, YFS. I love it. Be careful. One thing. Dolphins. Dolphins. Remember, means one. Dolphins. There's no S on that. So I'll bring my camera in case I see dolphins or whales, or in case I see a dolphin or a whale. Whenever you have and or, before and after must match. XYZ, yes. Seasick. Seasick is when you feel, and I'm going to say this word again, nobody's asked me, when you feel nauseous. When you feel nauseous. Does anybody know what nauseous means? I'm going to put it onto the screen here. Nauseous. It's a quite funny spelling. Oh, no, YFS, no, you didn't mess up at all. That's great. I loved your answer. I think it was great. Now, today we're focusing on problems, but it doesn't always have to be a problem. You prepare for something. For me, if I say it's a problem, a potential problem, it's easier for people to understand how to use in case. But no, your sentence was perfect. You're preparing for something. You're preparing for a future action. Maybe it's a problem. Often with in case it's a problem, but not always. You prepare for something. Your sentence, you're preparing, maybe I'll see dolphins. Maybe I'll see a whale. So how do you prepare? You bring your camera. Nauseous, you don't feel good, about to puke. Yes, XYZ. Yeah, that's what nauseous means. It means that you don't feel good and you're about to puke, or vomit. Vomit is another word we can say. Puke is more slang. I love that you know that, XYZ. Vomit is another word we can use. Maybe it's a little bit more of a medical word, vomit. But yeah, puke is great. One thing about nauseous, the spelling is quite interesting. So it's a weird spelling, but the pronunciation for this is just going to be like this. Nauseous. Nauseous. All right. All right, we got a couple more. I've got a lot more, but let's do two more so everybody can completely understand. Number 7, you have an early morning meeting. What's the possible problem? Or what's the possible thing you are planning for? Maybe it's not a problem. What's the future action that you're preparing for? And then what's their solution? What's your idea? I like it. XYZ. I like it. Yes, you know some interesting slang. And we'll do this one together. Number 7, we'll do together. Number 8, I'm going to give you as homework. And I want you to leave it into the comment section after the lesson is done. So number 7, you have an early morning meeting. What future action are you thinking about? What problem or future thing will happen? Maybe. Then how will you solve that? How will you prepare for that? I often have early morning, not meetings, but early morning lessons that I have to do. And so I'm always worried about something. So I always have a solution. XYZ's answer is I'll set an alarm in case I overslept. Almost perfect. Overslept is past tense. How do we fix that? What's the present tense? YFS, I'll set alarm in case I can't wake up. Also, almost perfect. If you look at XYZ's, I'll set an alarm. Yeah, we need to put an in front of alarm. in case I over XYZ, perfect, oversleep. Or like YFS says, I can't wake up. So I'll set an alarm in case I oversleep or can't wake up. Excellent. So I have actually a question. How many alarms do you set? I'm crazy. I'll set like 5, 6, 7 alarms. I'm always worried I'm not going to wake up. YFS, I always forget and the. When can I get better on this? Yeah, and the is a difficult one. I'll give you a short answer right now, but I plan to do a lesson on this, live lesson on this. And the. This is quite difficult for a lot of people, but I want you to think of it in a different way. A lot of people wonder, what do I use? And the. But better question to ask is the listener's knowledge, the listener's point of view. If the listener doesn't know what you are talking about, it is the first time to hear this noun, then please use a or an. But if the listener knows what you're talking about, or this is the second or third time to hear this noun, then you use the. Okay, so if you don't know an, I mean, if the listener doesn't know a or an, and then if the listener does know, please use the. Fusa, konnichiwa. Yes, konnichiwa, Fusa. How are you today? I hope you're having a great day. YFS, you set 3 alarms. Well, XYZ, wow, very confident. 1 alarm and you are up. That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm a little more than YFS. I'm like 5 or 6. I have to annoy myself to wake up, I think. All right, you know what? Let's do the last one. Let's do the last one together. And remember, if you want a copy of these answers or of this lesson, let me know in the comment section and I can provide that for you. Number 8, last one is you're going to the beach. You're going to the beach. That's your theme. That's the situation. That's the scenario. What's a possible problem, or doesn't have to be a problem? What's the possible future action that may happen? And then how do we prepare for that? How do we prepare for that? And I like that, the YFSU answered. Didn't have a video for that. I watched it. Yeah, I do have a video for that. I think it's a short video though. I didn't go into it in too much depth. And I think that an, and the, it's such a weird concept. It's so difficult, and a lot of people have difficulty with it. So I think it's important. Maybe I should make a longer video for that. Maybe do a live lesson on that. And I say it's weird because it's such a small word, an, and the. So one would think, many people think, oh, if I make a mistake, that's okay. It's not a big deal. But it's strangely, for English speakers, if you make a mistake with a, an, and the, it's very, very noticeable. We notice it right away. And this more so than other mistakes. I used to live in the US, and many times Native American English speakers would confuse the correct verb tense. They would say, oh, I seen it yesterday. They should say, I saw it yesterday. But most people don't even care about that. They're not too worried. But an, and the, we really care about it. We really care that if you have to use the correct one. We notice when you are wrong with that. So I think I should make a full video on that. Kaz, konnichiwa to you as well. I hope you are having a great day today. Thank you for joining me today. And thanks for the greeting. XYZ answered number 8. I'll bring a sunscreen in case I get sunburn. Okay. Almost perfect here. Almost perfect here. Sunscreen, uncountable. Uncountable. So we cannot use the word ah. I'll bring sunscreen. Now, this one's difficult. This one's difficult, XYZ. I'm not going to lie. I understand what you're trying to say. And I'm going to put your answer onto the screen here. And I'm going to type it as well. Let's type it onto the screen. Now oh, that's not where I want to type it. Right here. I'll bring sunscreen in case I get. Now here, sunburn. I want you to add the T, sunburnt, sunburnt. Okay. Sunburn, if you want to use sunburn, it is actually a countable noun. So you could say a sunburn, but let's just use sunburnt. Now, I understand what you're saying. You bring sunscreen. You bring sunscreen. But you get sunburnt. If you get sunburnt, the sunscreen will do nothing. You're already sunburnt. You're already sunburned, right? Maybe you put aloe vera on your sunburn, but you've already got sunburn. So in case, the sunscreen will not help. What I would say for this situation is I'll bring sunscreen in case. And what I would say here is in case the sun is very strong, in case it is very sunny. All right, so if it's very sunny, there is the possibility of becoming sunburnt. So we bring sunscreen. So we put that sunscreen on. A little bit confusing. YFS, I'll take an umbrella in case the sun is too strong. Perfect. Perfect. I meant a big umbrella people use on the beach. How do you say that? You could just say that, a big umbrella. You could say a parasol as well. But umbrella is fine. Beach umbrella. Just say beach umbrella. That's the easiest one. Beach umbrella. So yeah, I'll bring sunscreen in case the sun is very strong. I'll bring sunscreen in case it's sunny. I'll bring aloe vera in case I get a sunburn. So now I'm preparing for the sunburn. And remember, as YFS, you said it great. It doesn't have to be a problem. Today, using it as a problem, it's easier to, I think, image. But many things can happen at the beach. What are you preparing for? Me, I like surfing. So I'll bring my surfboard in case there are waves. So that means if there's the possibility of waves, I'm bringing that surfboard so then I can go surfing. Okay, great job, everybody. Does anybody have any questions using in case? Today, mainly we're using it to talk about a possible problem. But remember, it's any future event that you're planning for. So you're planning for that event. So you don't know if it will happen. It's possible. So you prepare for it. You prepare with a solution. And also remember, don't forget the difference between in case and if. If you're using in case, it's proactive. You're doing something to prepare. But if is reactive. It happens, then you do something. So they are very, very different. And if anybody here, if you're watching during the replay as well, Make sure you leave all your answers down below. Make sure you're subscribing to the channel, everybody. It's completely free. And also for everybody who's joining me right now, and for everybody who's watching on replay, this Saturday, I'll be doing another live lesson. It'll be at 7 a.m. Japan Standard Time. I think that'll be a little bit, obviously a different time wherever you are, but in Japan, 7 a.m. Japan Standard Time. That will be this Saturday. I believe that is the 7th, October 7th at 7 a.m. Japan Standard Time. I'll be doing another live lesson, so please join me for that. And if you have any questions about this lesson, make sure you leave it down in the comment section. And if you want a copy of the lesson that we did today, send me a message and I can give you a PDF of that. And don't forget to check out, I'm on Instagram, I'm on TikTok as well, and check those out as well. But until the next lesson, which is going to be on Saturday, but I'll also be uploading another video tomorrow, so check that out as well. I'll see you guys on Saturday, but we have a question before we go. XYZ says, you think reading a book is helping me to understand how to use a, an, and the? Yes, reading will definitely help you understand a, an, and the. And then I hope the next video I make will help you understand even more as well. But reading really helps. And your second question is, do you have any recommendation for the books? You know what? I think that a lot of people understand that reading books are useful, and they are. It's very, very useful to read books. You're going to build your vocabulary. And I think the problem is a lot of people try to read books that they're not interested in. They read the book because they think, oh, this book will help my vocabulary. This business book, or this economics book, or this finance book, or, this science book. But in those situations, if you are not interested in science or the economy or finance, you will never finish that book. I think it's really important that you read a book that you're interested in. What are you interested in? I love sports, right? But I also love like mystery books. I love, the who did it kind of, who is the killer type of book. I love spy books. I know if I read those books, I will continue until the end. So it's important that you find a book that you're interested in, because you really want to read until the end. And those books, the normal novel, the spy books, the romance books, they are using everyday English, right? So that's your goal. I think everybody's goal is to speak everyday English. So those books are actually using more everyday English than I would say like a finance or an economic book. So read what you're interested in. If you're interested in finance, read it. That's great. But read what you're interested in. And you can start small. I mean, the internet has everything. So many articles, so many magazines at your disposal. So XYZ, definitely read. Start small and start building up. Remember, it's not a race. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. Take your time and make sure you're enjoying it. And a wife says, well, wait, yes, don't worry. I'm waiting. I'm here. I'm not going anywhere. You need to ask me something. Okay. So a person was asking about pig out for drinking. I'm so curious about it. Do you have a word for that? If you've already replied, I'm sorry. Yeah, actually, I did reply just before the live lesson. I did reply. You can check it out, but we can definitely go over that right now as well. I recently uploaded a video. It was an idiom video, and one of the idioms we went over was pig out. Pig out means you're going to overeat. You're going to be eating too much. It's a great, funny idiom. If I could say, last night I pigged out on pizza. That means I was just eating and eating and eating. I was eating so much pizza. I overate with the pizza. So today, one of my students, one of the viewers, they asked me a question. So if pig out is for eating, can I use it for drinking? And technically, yes, you could say pig out for drinking. Oh, I pigged out on soda. That's fine. But YFS, it's not common. We don't really use it so commonly. A lot of times, if we're going to talk about drinking too much, we are usually talking about alcohol. We're talking about alcohol, and sometimes people drink too much alcohol. And in that situation, we do have a few phrases. In the response to my question, I gave two answers. I'll put them here as well. One of the ones I like is to drink like a fish. I'll put it in the comment section, and let's put it here as well. I've got a lot of space here. So to drink like a fish. To drink like a fish. This means, you're drinking a lot of alcohol. You're drinking a lot. So if I had an example sentence, I could say he drank like a fish at the party. So that means at that party, he was just drinking and drinking and drinking too much. So if you drink too much alcohol, drink like a fish is very good. Another one that I might use is to have one too many. To have one too many. This means, again, this is for alcohol. Everybody maybe knows their limit. They're drinking. And if I stop now, everything's fine. I feel good. I'm happy. Everything is, perfect. But if I drink one more, then maybe I will become too drunk. Maybe I'll have a headache the next day, a hangover. And one too many doesn't mean just one too many. It means probably many, many too many. So that's another one we could say. And a good example sentence for that is, I had one too many last night. I had one too many last night. That just means maybe today I have got a headache, or I feel very, man, I had one too many last night. Or I drank too much. So pig out, yeah, usually for food. And if you're talking about drinking, drink like a fish, binge drink, heavy drinker, have one too many. There's many things we can say, but drinking is weird because we usually only use it to talk about alcohol, not soft drinks, not soda, not coffees and teas, but it's for alcohol. And yeah, we use a lot of animals in our idioms. We have another one. If you're hungry, a really common idiom is, I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. I'm so hungry, I could eat a horse. This basically means, a horse is very, very big. So you're so hungry, you could eat a horse. You could eat a lot of food. What do you about this one? Here's another idiom. You got me going now, YFS. I love idioms. I think they're really funny. What does this mean? Eat like a rabbit. Eat like a rabbit. What do you think that means? Eat like a rabbit. Oh, and XYZ, I know you do have a question for me. I'll get back to that in 1 second. But first, eat like a rabbit. Wow, idioms are very difficult as a non-English speaker. I have no idea what you guys are talking about. Yeah, idioms are tough. They're tough. And it's the one thing that makes it even tougher, YFS, is that depending on where you are, like if you're in America, if you're in Canada, if you're in the UK, the idioms, the slang, it's all different. So even for me, sometimes I don't understand what British people are saying if they're using their local idioms or local slang. But yeah, it's difficult, and it's just you have to just keep trying to use it, trying to hear it. It's just little by little, one by one, and you'll get there. You'll get there. YFS. YFS. Eating little, eating slow. Eat like a rabbit. Maybe eating a little. I could use eat like a rabbit. But actually, eat like a rabbit is you're eating a lot of like lettuce and salads and raw vegetables. Rabbits, they're, the image of rabbits are they eat lettuce, they eat carrots. So if you're eating a lot of salads and like only lettuce, only carrots and celery and things like that, someone might say, "Oh, you eat like a rabbit." So that means you're eating similar to like a rabbit. They're eating just salads. Now, XYZ, what do you mean by small? So we were talking about books, yes? Oh, start small. Start small. That means don't go and buy a 500-page book. That's too much. Even for me, like a 500-page book, for me, it's tough to start. I'm not going to start that book because I know, I have 500 pages to read. So start small. Start with a small book. Start with short stories. Something that's 30 pages, 100 pages. Small little books, small novels, 200 pages. And then work your way up to something bigger. You could start with articles, magazine articles, things that you're interested in. If it is novels and stories, then yeah, short stories are great. Short stories will be really good. But yeah, again, whatever you're interested in. I had a friend who loved like romance and goth stuff and vampires. So they read the book Vampire Diaries. And the great thing about that is it's a series. So once you finish one, you go to the next one, you go to the next one, you go to the next one. Those series are great because you get addicted to the stories. And that just means you're learning so many new words. And you're learning how we speak because in novels, they're using spoken English. So yeah, start small. Start with what you like. Start with what you like. If you're reading what you like, you will definitely continue. So that's really important, I think. So you have to do that. What do I mean? Yeah, like I said, start small. Start with the small books. Don't start with a 500 pager. That would be intense. That would be very intense. Any other questions? We've got a lot of viewers here still here, so I don't want to cut off. But if does anybody else have any questions? Today's lesson, we were talking about in case. If English speakers don't get each other, of course I have no clue. No. I mean, you'll understand it. It just you have to just get used to it. If I go to I remember being with some UK friends they're all from London, and we were actually having a bunch of beers, and they were talking, and I had no idea what they were saying. But yeah, after a while, you get used to what they're saying. You get used to the accent, and you get used to some of the words. It's with my Australian friends as well. So once you start getting used to those words, it clicks. You're like, oh, okay, I get it. I know what you're talking about. And one thing, YFS, you don't have to know what every word means to understand the idea of a sentence, the concept. Don't get stuck on one specific word. Try to understand what everything means. And if you understand the meaning, that's all you need. Go back later and figure out that word. Don't stop. Don't get stuck with just one word. If you get stuck, you stop listening, you stop communicating. So then communication breaks down. So yeah, don't give up. You'll get it. All right. If there are, XYZ says magazine. I'll start with that. Vampire, horror. I prefer reading magazines. Yeah. You have to, find a magazine. And again, a lot of these magazines are all online now. So it's easy to get those magazines. But if you prefer actual sort of hard copy, yeah, read magazines, read articles, read what you're interested in. Again, like for me, sports. I love sports. I love travel. I love new technology. So these are the things I'll read. I love reading about cultures. So, and you are definitely very welcome, XYZ, YFS as well. You are most welcome. I appreciate all the questions. I appreciate you joining me today. For everyone who has joined, thank you. I hope you enjoyed the extra idiom talks we had and my advice about reading. If you are considering it, please do it. Read something you're interested in. Otherwise, you won't continue. Fusa, arigato. You're welcome. Do itashimashite. You're very welcome. And for the rest of you, if you're watching on replay, thank you as well for watching. And again, don't forget to subscribe. Check out my live lesson I'll be doing on Saturday, as well as all the videos I'm posting. And until I see you again, thanks for joining me today, and see ya.